Big Ben got it. Big Ben.
Ben Roethlisberger says he would take Aaron Rodgers in his prime over Patrick Mahomes currently. James, who you taking, prime Rodgers or current Mahomes?
First off, hey, man, look at me. You don't have Big Ben that have us up here arguing. All right?
I don't take Big Ben serious, though.
No.
I don't take him serious.
No, man, I'm taking prime Aaron Rodgers. Prime Aaron Rodgers, and I agree with what Big Ben said in there. Prime Aaron Rodgers is probably the greatest we've ever seen play the quarterback spot. And I don't care nothing about no Super Bowls, none of that.
They don't matter.
Talk about playing the game of football. Prime Aaron Rodgers was cold-blooded. We talking about 4-time MVP. That means you are the best player in the National Football League. He has 4 of them. Not only that, turn your eyeballs on. All these quarterbacks we watch now, they want to throw like Aaron Rodgers, inside the pocket, outside the pocket. They are looking for that Aaron Rodgers. He changed the way you play the game at the quarterback spot from outside the pocket, for sure, throwing this football. Aaron in his prime was absolutely special. There was nobody better, in my humble opinion, to do it in Aaron's prime than Aaron Rodgers. And I don't care anything about them Super Bowls. Shady, McCoy.
That's a good
That's
play.
right. That's right.
And I know Acho with me, because Acho played against this boy.
That's your opinion. I mean, you
That's
said,
my
like,
opinion,
he don't
dog.
care about championships. He don't get them championships. We don't play for that.
We do. He got one. We do play for that. But, man.
You can go. I'm going to go last. Yeah, I'm going to go last.
I don't think anybody's better than prime Aaron Rodgers.
Thank you, sir.
I just don't. Again, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think anybody's better than prime Aaron Rodgers. First off, Aaron Rodgers has a Super Bowl and a Super Bowl MVP. So it's not as though Aaron Rodgers doesn't have a Super Bowl nor Super Bowl MVP. And I think he won those before his prime. I had to play against Aaron Rodgers, so you could say I'm biased. Aaron Rodgers could throw different. Aaron Rodgers could run well enough to make him be able to run different. Aaron Rodgers, from a platform perspective, one is different. Aaron Rodgers between the ears, different. Remember, Aaron Rodgers has 48 touchdown passes in one season and like 4 interceptions in the same season, beautiful people. In the same season. Mahomes goes crazy.
Yes, he
crazy.
does.
Mahomes
Yes, he
will
does.
likely end up being the second best, if not the best of all time. But if you're talking peak, Aaron Rodgers also did this with the head coach who we don't know how good he is outside of Aaron Rodgers. Remember, Andy Reid, outside of Patrick Mahomes, went to 4 straight conference championship games, including the Super Bowl. Like, Andy Reid has already proven himself as well. There's nobody, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Patrick Mahomes, Terry Bradshaw, John Elway, Joe Namath. There is nobody, in my estimation, like prime Aaron Rodgers. Not like Aaron Rodgers,
silly.
but there's nobody like prime Aaron Rodgers.
This is really, like, seriously, we should do a podcast. This is podcast talk. Podcast talk is you just speak your opinion, right, with no real facts to back it up. Because if Aaron Rodgers is so great, how y'all say he is in his prime, how is it possible for you to only have 1 Super Bowl appearance?
Team success.
Well, that's what quarterbacks do. The greats we talk about,
They win championships.
they win championships. That's why we play the game. All the greats in basketball that we talk about, that's driving the bus, they so great. To say that if Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant or LeBron James, right, because y'all say he's the greatest of all time in his prime, right?
in his prime. Yes,
Greatest-
yeah.
Imagine them dudes in a prime only even seeing the finals 1 time. That's embarrassing. And Big Ben, I don't really take a lot of these big, because Ben hates.
He's 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, one thing about Big Ben, if you play 18 years, you have no all-pros, not one first team, not one second
respect
team.
the championship.
This is just me. I don't respect players that talk about greats a certain way, and you have nowhere the type of success they have.
Yeah, Super Bowls.
You play for 18 years. Hold up. You play for 18 years, and you never was considered the best quarterback or the second best quarterback in football. I can't really joke with that. But let's go to my real take. Talk about a Big Ben here, because Big Ben playing around. So y'all said that Aaron Rodgers' prime, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I'll say from
Aaron Rodgers.
2011 to maybe like 2016, that was his prime.
Yeah.
MVP, stats, and all that.
Good.
Let's go to that.
Killer.
So, in his prime from 2011 to 2016, he's had 5 playoff wins and 0. I mean, like zip, like no Super Bowl appearance. So you to be that great.
Going to team success.
I'm not going to disrespect Patrick Mahomes and even play that game with him. I'm not going to his prime years. I'm not going to these years. I'm going to the last 2 years. Because you would say his last 2 years haven't been his best, correct?
Team success.
Patrick Mahomes' last 2 years haven't been his best, correct?
Stats wise.
not.
Stats wise.
Bet, cool. And Patrick Mahomes, I guess, worst years of his career in his last 2 years. Not his problem, but his last 2 years. He has 6 playoff wins and 2 Super Bowl appearances.
Yeah.
So that means
Team success.
That means at his worst, compared to Aaron Rodgers' best, I'm always going to be in the Super Bowl.
Team success.
I'm always going to be in the Super Bowl.
So, to your take.
I'm not done.
Not done.
I'm not done.
I got some. I'm writing.
Because with Patrick Mahomes, the disrespect to say he's not even in his prime is crazy. So I'm going to play crazy with Big Ben, and I'm going to say, okay, he's not in his prime no more. He's not even 30 yet, but cool. But I'm saying at my worst years, Aaron Rodgers, I'm at your best. Because at your best, James Jones, you haven't even seen the Super Bowl only one time in your whole career.
Okay.
At my worst, I've been to Super Bowl back-to-back years.
So with your take, LeSean Shady McCoy.
Come on, man. That's right.
Big Ben is better than Aaron Rodgers.
How?
He has 2 championships. Because you keep going team success.
Bro.
With your take.
You watch the games, don't you?
Did you watch prime Aaron Rodgers?
I have.
Because if you watch prime Aaron Rodgers, because that's what we're talking about. We're not talking about team success. We're talking about Patty and Aaron as players. When you talk about a 4-time MVP and Aaron Rodgers and the way it looked in his prime, it was different than Patrick Mahomes. And it shows because he's only been the best one time in his prime. And he's still in his prime. I'm not going to go there with Big Ben either, but he's only been the best one time. This dude has been the best 4 times.
Yeah,
when you talk about just the player, the best player in his prime that we've ever seen at that quarterback spot is Aaron Rodgers. Team success, I won't argue with you. Plenty more quarterbacks got more Super Bowl rings.
Stop talking about. So first of all, the elite company we talking about, we're not talking about no Jalen Hurts. We're not talking about no Brock Purdy. We're not talking about no guys that just playing around super talent and we just going to let the team do. We're not talking about them guys. We're talking about elite guys, correct? So let's be a little more respectful a little bit. Number 2.
You going to championship.
Hold on, Jay. I just talk. Number 2 is for you to be so great, like y'all keep telling me he is, right? Because you keep saying how great he was. You tell me how he's one of the best of all time, the way he played in his prime. Tell me how it's possible for you to only have 1 Super Bowl appearance. Bro, look, but that's part of it, though.
It matters.
When we talk about great players, when we talk about the Jordans, we're going to talk about the MVPs.
Okay.
We're going to talk about the Kobe's MVPs, but we also going to talk about you winning championships. Let me keep going.
You cooking?
Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning was a phenomenal, great quarterback, right? We talk about MVPs. We're going to talk about championships. Brett Favre. Everybody you can talk about. Tom Brady. I don't know who looks better throwing the ball with Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Maybe you can tell the people that. But what I can tell you is their better quarterback won. He won stats and accolades, and he won championships.
Let me answer his question, though. Because he said, tell me how it's possible. I would suggest it was possible because Jordy Nelson was ready to receive an onside kick against the Seattle Seahawks. And if I'm not
we about to do this.
But you said how it's possible. If you said how it's possible, that kept them from 1 at minimum. That kept them from another 1.
Time out. I could go to every player and say that with, man. I can say when the Chiefs played in 2020, when the Chiefs played the Bucks, he had both his tackles out. He ain't make no excuses about for this. What are we talking about? If I can say if this dude didn't catch the ball, if the Titans when they played the Patriots and McNair throws the ball, it was a 1. He threw it too short. Right? It's a 1. Can we please not do that? Because that's not football.
But then if you're saying how it's possible, I'm only trying to give you the only reason I can suggest Aaron Rodgers, at least then go to another one. Because I don't bring up the Falcons, how the Falcons scored 40 points and Aaron Rodgers scored like 30 or 16 or something like that. Yeah. I don't bring up the egregious defenses because Shady is right. Quarterbacks should be able to overcome all of that.
What are you talking about? You're the best. You
should be able to overcome all of that. But at the point in which it's the very end of the game, the only one excuse, only one. I'm only giving Rodgers one excuse of his 20-year career. I'm giving him 1, Shady. You got it, maybe a 1, just 1. The onside kick. It's an onside kick. All you got to do is recover. It's an onside kick. Just 1, Shady. I'm not giving him bad defenses because though there were, and I could hear that argument, I'm not going to give him that. I'm not going to give him injuries. The onside kick against the Seahawks, James, was it, Andy, what year? 2016? 2014? I think 2014. The onside kick is the one I'm going to give him. I think it's the NFC championship.
I'm going to ask one more question.
I got answers.
Name me another, because you guys are saying that he's so great.
Yes.
Name me another great.
Dan Marino.
Hold up. I think Dan was great. I'm a Pitt guy. But
Dan Marino was great.
He went to Pitt. I love Dan. I'm not going to put Dan up there with the Tom Brady's. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. I just can't do that. A guy that won 7 championships. Yeah. You got Montana's won 3, 4, something like that. I'm not gonna put. I'm not gonna put
just championships.
No, but let him finish. Let him finish.
What do we play for, James? What are we playing for?
But I'm saying you can't in one sense say championships and then in another sense say Big Ben can't be in the conversation.
When you a GOAT, Big Ben's a good quarterback. I don't put him up there with the GOATs. When you're a GOAT, you have accolades and you have championships. That's what it is. There's Charles Barkley. It's great players in all sports.
All right.
And how you become GOATs is you win championships, bro, and you have accolades. That's how it works, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, name me another GOAT-type player that, as a quarterback, that only has one Super Bowl appearance.
So what I will say to that is, because that's all you're going back to is Super Bowls.
You're not answering.
Let me do it again. James, for Aaron Rodgers to be so great, I just want you to name me.
There's nobody great like Aaron Rodgers that has one. That's the answer to your question.
Is there any other quarterback that's so great?
One that I would say Dan Marino, and he has none. He was great.
Okay.
He has none.
Okay.
But your argument of putting all these quarterbacks in front of Aaron Rodgers that you put in front of him, you always say championships. So hold on. So what I'm saying is Big Ben is top 10, top 5 in a lot of categories, which means he was a great player playing at the quarterback spot, and he's a 2-time champion. You wouldn't fix your lips to say he's better than Aaron Rodgers. Nobody in the world would. So all I'm saying is winning championships, you have to be a good quarterback, but that's team success. Individual Aaron Rodgers in his prime is the greatest we've seen at that spot.
What I'm saying is, so when we talk about GOATs, I don't fix my lips to say Big Ben's a GOAT. I never talk like that. No, I think he's a really good quarterback. I don't put him as one of the greatest. I don't do that. There's only a certain group that's going to sit in their seats, right? The Last Supper with Jesus and all that, those are disciples. Those are a special group of guys.
Just 12 at the table.
Big Ben's outside of that room. We talking about the elite guys, bro. So what I'm saying is, name me some elite guys. We talking about the GOATs, the greatest of all time. So it's only a couple seats. It's not a whole bunch of seats. In them seats, just hear me out, in them seats, though. Yes. Because you can't be an all-time great type GOAT player without having accolades. You can't have that. You got to have some MVP. You got to have some first-team all-pros. You got to have them things, right?
So the two that
then you have that, and then you get into the champion. It's all together.
The two that I would have is Dan Marino and Aaron Rodgers.
So who's Judas? Is just
I don't know. Now. But Dan Marino and Aaron Rodgers is at the table. And and the other dudes at the table, you're probably going to take Dan Marino and Aaron Rodgers before some of them dudes. Still, because they have more championships.
That's because if we look at the GOATs, we got to go. But I'll say this. Patrick Mahomes is going to be eating with Joe Montana and Tom Brady. They're going to have a whole meal. And Aaron and them going to be waiting to get their food.
And in their prime, they all going to be behind Aaron.
That makes no sense.
It does.
But y'all friends, though. I get it.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.